Wembley trip, Wembley trip, Wembley trip. All we want is a Wembley trip, and it's another opportunity to get a little bit closer. It's the Sheffield Wednesday match preview, so stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, Newcastle fans. Not a nice time of year, is it? Early January, but I think for Newcastle fans, it's a pretty rosy January as far as the football's concerned. And onwards and upwards we go to another game. Sheffield Wednesday away in the Cup on Saturday. Before I get started and getting in the nitty-gritty of that game as we look ahead to it, if you are new to Black and White Banter Newcastle fans, please drop down, give us a little one of these, or if you're a subscriber, it goes a very long way, means a lot, gets us in that algorithm. Drop us a subscribe if you stick around and you like my opinion. I am going to Sheffield Wednesday, so there will be a match vlog coming for that, as there was for Arsenal, as there was for Leicester, as there's been a lot of times this season, so you don't want to miss that. So whack the subscribe and get Black and White Banter across all social media. We post on there every single day. So as I said at the start of this video, Wembley trip, Wembley trip, Wembley trip. It's all we want. It's all I want. Yes, this European football is the talk of probably of Europe. Newcastle are opening people's eyes with our league position and how well we're doing in the Premier League. That will be lovely. I'm not doubting that. That will be amazing, incredible. But we haven't won a cup or a trophy of any description since 1969. And things are looking pretty promising on the trophy front this year. I mean, we've got a cup quarter-final against Leicester on Tuesday, which will put us into a two-leg semi-final, and then we are very close to that Wembley trip. My God. And the FA Cup starts on Saturday. So this is another chance to keep us in the hat of a competition that just gets us closer. And if you'd asked me at the start of the season what I wanted from this season, I would have said to build top 10. If you'd asked me before ball had even been kicked, top 10 and a good cup run. So far, we exceed in the top 10 and we've already got the cup run in the League Cup. So let's keep that going with another competition. Sheffield Wednesday away. You could argue it's a bit of a banana skin. You know, you're looking at fixtures that you'd maybe prefer. You'd always prefer a home tie. Of course you would. It's not an easy place to go, Hillsborough. I'm sure it'll be rocking. It's on the cameras. Of course it is, in case there's a banana skin there. We're taking it back to the 4,500 fans, which is going to be an amazing atmosphere behind one of the goals at Hillsborough. I'll obviously be in that crowd and I can't wait to get down there. But it's a game we should be expected to win. Let's face it. On paper, we are the better team. We are the Premier League side. We are 15, 20 plus places above this team in the Football League from top to bottom. But you just never know with Newcastle. And under Eddie Howe, I'm more confident going into these matches than under any other manager. You know, under Mike Ashley, there was a strict policy to not prioritise the cups, and a weakened team was played because of that. We've seen it many, many times before. I think Eddie Howe this season has learned his lesson from playing a very weak team. We did it against Palace in the League Cup, and we were very poor. Probably one of the worst performances I've seen this season. That was when he made about 9 changes, I think, in total. I don't think he's going to do that again. But having said that, I do think there'll be changes, and I think changes are needed. So at Arsenal on Tuesday, I thought our midfield looked quite leggy. I do. Bruno, Longstaff and Willock, in my opinion, looked a little bit leggy. And those three started against Bournemouth, started against Leicester on Boxing Day, started against Leeds, started against Arsenal. And don't forget, Bruno's just come back from that World Cup. And I know what you may be thinking, he didn't play much. Of course he didn't. But still, he's travelled back, hasn't had too much of a break, straight back into the mix. Your head can be a little bit all over the place. He was very upset when Brazil got knocked out. And I'm not saying they've looked bad as a three. I just thought against Arsenal, we maybe looked a little bit leggy. And with a cup quarter-final on Tuesday, this is a perfect opportunity for some of them players to just take a rest. Now, I've got no doubts about it. Would Bruno want to start on Saturday? Yes. Would Willock want to start on Saturday? Yes. I think that's the mentality Eddie Howe's created. So where would I like to see the changes on Saturday? Well, I think players I'd like to stay in, for me, would be goalkeeper. I don't want to see the goalkeeper changed. I don't. I think Pope is safe as houses. There's talk of Dubravka coming in. Not for me. I'm not buying it all that Dubravka wanted to come back. I think Man United weren't too impressed with him and they got rid. Eddie Howe's going to protect his player by saying he wanted to come back. In my opinion, I don't think he did. He doesn't get near the team for me. If you don't want to be part of this, then crack on. He was a loyal servant, but no, I wouldn't be overly amused if he was in the side. Kieran Trippier, I would like to stay in for his leadership, for his quality from set pieces. He's the one I would. I would change the back two centre backs. I think Lascelles has got to come in. I'd maybe put Dan Burn at centre back, and then I would maybe go with Jamal Lewis. Only reason I want to go with Jamal Lewis is because we haven't seen enough of him to have an opinion on him. Eddie Howe seems to rate him to some degree. He's played in the friendly games. Let's give him another go. Let's give him at least 45 minutes on Saturday and see what he can offer us at left back, because at the moment, with Matt Targett injured, Dan Burn is basically competing with himself for the left back spot. And the only reason I'd play Dan Burn left back is just for that centre back. Is for that Geordie Steele. Botman maybe needs a rest. Shea, he's in his 30s now. He could maybe do with the rest after playing at the World Cup. So I'd, just my own personal preference, I'd go Lascelles and Burn. Midfield, we're not blessed with many position bodies that can come in. If you look at our squad centrally, because Shelvey's injured, of course. Elliot Anderson, Eddie Howe's talked about him, saying he's had a couple of niggles in his press conference, and also said that he's now chomping at the bit and he's not going to loan him out. So you'd maybe expect Elliot Anderson to come in, maybe for Bruno if he was to rest him. I think Joe Willock will be one of the ones that stays in. He's full of energy. His running is very important to what we do. His box-to-box playing style, I think, can be quite important. But in that central area, we are lacking. We really are. So I'm assuming Eddie Howe's hand is going to be forced to play a lot of the same midfield. Fraser hasn't been in the equation in recent games. I'm sure he's going to be out the door in January, and I'm not going to be too upset about that. So I don't think Fraser will be in the equation. You'd probably expect Murphy to start. And again, though, you're looking at our squad and you're thinking, right, who can come in on the wings? Maximin, this is his chance. Let's see what Alan St. Maximin can do. He hasn't really done much. I know he's been restricted to substitute appearances, but I think this is a game to say, right, Eddie, I'm here. And I've said that now for the Crystal Palace Cup game. I said it for I can't remember what last Premier League match he started, but the point I'm trying to make is Alan St. Maximin, I am repeatedly saying this is his chance. And I'm sure at Arsenal he was very frustrated. He's come out with an Instagram message about how Happy New Year everyone, this is my year, I've still got so much to offer. Less of this, Alan. More of this. More goals, more assists, more fantastic dribbling like we know you're capable of. More of that and less talk on social media, please, and less of that Helios game that you sell. So Alan St. Maximin will come in now. Striker, Isak. It's like a new signing. Isak's back, apparently. But I don't expect Isak to start this match. I'd be very surprised if Howe starts him. I think he'll go with a Chris Wood starter. And I think Isak would maybe be the player to come on after maybe 50 minutes, 60 minutes to get that first run out in a very long time. And I've got no doubts about it. We'll be giving him plenty reception when he does come on. Gamey, 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 a striker. You know the chant. Let's get the hammer on the go. 4,500 drunken Geordies. So I would expect Chris Wood to start. Am I happy about that? No. Against a team like Sheffield Wednesday in League One, is that maybe the standard he might do a little bit better against? Yes. But I just think Chris Wood, to play to his strengths, you have to change your playing style, and that ball has to go higher, and I don't want to see Eddie Howe's Newcastle team do that, and I don't think Eddie Howe does. So I wouldn't be too happy about that. But generally speaking, I know that's not an 11, or the point I'm trying to make is I would make some changes. Trippier stays in for me, Pope stays in, Dan Burn or one of the centre-backs stays in with Lascelles as his partner. And then across the midfield, maybe Willock, maybe Longstaff for his graft. I don't know, but I think some of the midfield needs to have a rest. I'd maybe keep Almiron in. I don't think Almiron's a player who looks like he needs a rest. He's like a Duracell bunny, isn't he? So maybe Almiron. And then obviously I think Callum Wilson, with how his hamstrings are, with the rest of the season, with Fulham, with Palace, Leicester in the huge quarter-final on Tuesday, he needs to be rested. Sheffield Wednesday will cause us some problems. I've got no doubts about it. They'll play quite direct. I've got no doubts about it. They will fancy themselves to cause a bit of an upset here. We saw Tranmere take the lead against us earlier in the season. It was almost panic stations, but we recovered from that. But I still fancy Newcastle to win. I think Eddie Howe's learnt his lessons from making too many changes in these cup games, and we in front of the cameras as well. And I don't care what any manager or player says, that sometimes plays a factor. You do not want to get beat by a League One team on live TV. You don't. So I'm going to go for a Newcastle win. I think it's going to be tight. I don't think we're going to run away with it. I still don't think we're at that level to turn over these early cup matches with ease, not against a League One team. Maybe in years to come, when we maybe reach a new level of squad depth, yes, but not yet. Could be close. I'll go 3-1 Newcastle. But I mean a close 3-1, not a convincing 3-1. It sounds like I'm going for a convincing score, but that's what I'll go for. Maggie's backing Newcastle to win. The dog is backing a win. If you've stuck around this long, Newcastle fans, please let me know in the comments what you think the score is going to be in the Cup. It's not going to be an upset, is it? And can Newcastle get to Wembley, not in the League Cup, but in the FA Cup? Are we telling our mums not to put the tea on? Do that. If you've stuck around this long, please whack that subscribe, and there will be probably quite a drunken Sheffield Wednesday match vlog coming tomorrow night. I'm taking my older brother to his first ever Newcastle away game, so it should be good. It was his Christmas present from me, so he's going to get an experience for the Geordie atmosphere in the away end, and I'm looking forward to creating another vlog for you lovely people. So whack that subscribe, hopefully a win, hopefully the next round of the Cup, and imagine that. A step closer to 2 opportunities of getting to Wembley. I mean, I want to go once. Imagine going twice. I'll see you on the next video, Newcastle fans. Tell me, mommy, ma, I won't be home for tea. How are you, lads?